Welcome to the Outer Rim. I am Carbonite. With me, as always, is Ray. Ray, how you doing?
Hey everyone, how are you?
You ready to talk about some Star Wars?
I'm ready.
You ready to talk about some Star Wars cards?
No,
Oh, okay. All right.
just Star
Stream's
Wars.
canceled. We're out of here. Let's get out of here. Oh no! So today's episode, the set focus is 1993 Galaxy Series One, which we will get into in a little bit. But first, Ray, let us read some headlines, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we cherry picked some Star Wars headlines from around the interwebs. First one this week in a galaxy far, far away. Will the Star Wars surrender to the online mob? Ray, the cancellation of Acolyte, the complaints about Book of Boba Fett, some parts of Ahsoka, that sort of thing. Justified? Do you think Disney's going to give in? What do you think?
Well, this was a really interesting article because the whole idea is that, things are happening sort of in real time now. It's a very different era where they're creating content at the same time that fans and folks online are bullying, saying what they don't like, saying what they do like, and it's very different from an era in which, think of when the prequels came out. You didn't have all of that. You just had Star Wars creators who could make up whatever they wanted the content to be without listening to those voices of sort of the masses. And so I think it is an interesting question in that I don't think Star Wars is going to surrender to the online mob, but you do have pressure of people. They were saying that all of the online bullying that's going on at the same time as content is being released is going to influence whether shows get picked up, get made into a second season, get nixed entirely, and possibly help drive sort of the plot of whatever the next movies are.
Yeah, and I just think it's a symptom of the society we live in today, where like you said, everything's in real time. Back in the 70s and 80s, into the 90s, early 2000s, it was the box office that spoke to the producers and the companies that make these things. And so, if your movie makes money, they'll give you more money to make another movie, right? And you know, yeah, there were reviews in newspapers, but kids didn't read newspapers. Kids talked about the movies on the playground, in the schoolyard, right? At school.
Like that
And
that water cooler era is gone, right?
yeah, yeah. And I just think there's too many knee-jerk reactions these days. Too many metrics, too many too many statistics on, whether or not they should cancel a show without giving it another chance. And, I mean, how many shows can you think of in your lifetime that season one wasn't really that good, but then people are like, yeah, just get through season one because season two and three is really where it gets good. And I just feel like there's so many shows out there, particularly in Star Wars, the Acolyte, where the first season I thought was good enough, and I was kind of like, ooh, I kind of want to see where this is going. And oh nope, it cost too many dollars per minute to make, and it only had this many viewers. And 42 hours after the finale, they sat around in a big round table in some cushy office and said, looked at some spreadsheets and said, oh nope, we're getting rid of the show. That's what it just felt like to me.
There's
So I,
no patience anymore. Like you're saying, it was
yeah,
building to something. I won't spoil things, but the final frame of the final episode was clearly leading somewhere with a character that we all know and love, right? And I think that the metrics by which they're measuring things now, it's even that itself is faulty because how many people find a show, you know, months after it airs? It's not the same thing as real-time viewers watching an NBC sitcom
yeah,
in 1992. Um, so yeah, I think it wasn't given a chance, and
yeah,
so many things aren't given a chance anymore, and that's unfortunate.
yeah. No, totally agree. So let's pray they don't surrender to the online mob.
Don't
But
give
we'll see.
in.
Time will tell. All right, next one. Oh, look at this production error. There we go. All right, so this one spoke to me. Star Wars finally explains how Kylo ended up with Darth Vader's charred mask. I remember seeing this scene and thinking, "Oh man, I want to know the story. I want to I want to know more about this. And the fact that didn't, they showed this, right? The show he owned that Darth Vader's helmet, but then gave no further explanation as to how, or like moving forward, it like they could have had Anakin and Vader come speak to him as Force ghosts through the helmet, and just like, ah, man, there's so much wasted potential.
Which is pretty much your theory behind the whole sequels, but yes.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. And so this is going to come out in a comic book. They're going to show how he acquired the mask. Now, my guess is it's going to be a kick-ass story that should have been The Force Awakens. But that said, like, there's a little piece of me that, and this is because of the prequels, right? So when the prequels came out, they were panned by many Star Wars fans. And then the Clone Wars comes out, right? And fills in all these gaps. And you see all these different forms of media, and it fills in all these gaps. And now you can watch the prequels and be like, and appreciate them that much more.
Yes, although I will say clearly you only read the headline and not the article, because I'm actually still really dissatisfied. So this comic that comes out shows Leia finding the mask, having this incredibly cathartic, emotional moment where she sort of talks to her dad's helmet and says all the things she needs to say, but then leaves it. So they're actually still not even answering that question of how does Kylo get it. It's sort of implied that maybe some scavenger picks it up out of the ruins after that and he acquires it later. Whereas to me, it would be a lot more meaningful if Leia has this moment with her dad's mask, keeps it as a sort of family heirloom, and then it gets passed on to her son. That's a way better story to me, but apparently she just tosses it back into the rubbish heap. So the whole thing I find a little dissatisfying.
No, I mean, well, think about it. She had zero relationship with her father. Zero. There was no relation. It meant nothing to her in a lot of ways, right? Except being abandoned, all the, I mean,
Oh
yeah,
my
she
dad
maybe
turned to the dark side.
she could blame the Emperor about Alderaan and all that, but like,
Yeah.
there was no moment in the movies or anything where Leia is sort of connected to Anakin Skywalker
That's what they're
outside of
saying.
that
That's
Luke
what they're
sister.
saying this comic book scene does, which is why, to me, if she had then kept it and passed it on to her son. So I don't know. We'll see. When it comes out, we'll debate if we think they do a nice job with that scene. But ultimately, then there's some other scavenger who passes it on to Kylo Ren.
Sure. Or he goes and gets it himself. Who
Acquires it.
knows? Oh,
Yeah.
we'll find out, right? We'll find out. All right. And the last one, Ewan McGregor says Disney and Lucasfilm are exploring ideas for Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2. Interesting that they don't have it set up yet. I feel like this is the type of show where they need. I feel like maybe the end game is set, and maybe they're just arguing about or discussing details
How do you
of how
get
to
there?
get there. But if like they're exploring ideas, that's what they did. That going back to the sequels, that's what they did with the sequels. They explored many ideas in the sequels instead of just going back to the well for what works. And no one wants to see a new take on Obi-Wan Kenobi. We just want the dots connected. That's all we want.
To me, this headline actually almost said this is a result of Acolyte getting canceled. Right? Like
Oh.
certain threads that were supposed to happen in Acolyte season 2. Okay, now we're thinking, how can we pick up those same threads in Obi-Wan and still tell the story that we're trying to tell through a different medium? That was how I read this. So again, and it goes back to that, it's all happening in real time. And how does that affect the story that we as fans end up actually getting to see?
So can I ask you a question then? What would you like to see in Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2?
Oh, gosh, you you've stumped me. I don't even know that I've gotten that far in my brain because there's so many shows right now that I'm waiting
I
for
know.
season 2. I'm
I
waiting for season 2 Ahsoka. I'm waiting for season 2 Andor. So I don't even know the answer to that. But I
um
hope it does. Here's
I
what I
would
hope it all ties together.
well that's what I was about to say. I said no matter what they do, just set it up so that old Ben goes into hiding for good, and sort of nothing more needs to be said between the end of season 2 and A New Hope. That's what I
Okay.
hope. That's what I hope is
I
there.
hope they're listening
Um,
to us.
yeah, just Disney. Hello. Awesome. Well, all right, Ray. Thanks for looking at these headlines with me,
Yeah,
and
there's our
and
Hollow Journal
clearly,
update, and let's get into a set.
yeah. And I think next time I'll definitely read the article, but in reality, probably not. Probably just gonna read the headline because that's a product of my generation. Because I'm, you know,
Short attention span.
I just headline after headline after headline after headline, and that's all I can really have the attention span for. So, no, I will not read the articles. Ray, nice try. Okay. All right. Well, that brings us to cards from the Outer Rim. All right. So, cards from the Outer Rim, where we look at sort of some interesting cards from the various Star Wars card sets. And today, we're talking about 1993 Star Wars Galaxy Series 1. And this first card we're looking at, Ray, do you want to take a guess at what on earth this is?
Well, I know what it is. So do you want me to guess or do you want me to
So, like,
say?
here's what you're supposed to do. So, pander to the audience, pretend like you're guessing,
Yeah.
like say what it is, but kind of make it sound like you aren't like super sure about it, and then I'll affirm your answer.
I mean, this to me looks like a whole bunch of mini Akbars.
Oh, incorrect. No, no, yeah, that is spot on. That is correct. This is a Mon Calamari school. This is like, get it? Do you get it?
Like a school of fish.
Cool fish. There you go. See, you get. See, you're smart. Uh, yeah. So the artist. So again, this is the '90s, right? This is the time. This is pre prequels, post original trilogy. Uh, People wanted to like explore the greater galaxy of these three beloved, cherished movies that have become a mainstay in American culture. And so this artist said, you know what, Admiral Akbar, kind of want to envision what it was like for his kin to be in school. So they're floating there all together, right, underwater, learning how to
Swimming.
pilot capital ships, right, which is super interesting.
I love that these cards fill in the gap. It's sort of like the way as a child you can't imagine your grandparents when they're young. It's like, nobody ever stops and thinks about young Admiral Akbar, but okay, at a certain point, he was a little tadpole or whatever you called them, and he went to school. And I love that the artwork in these cards filled in these gaps. Same way you have things that are only mentioned in the movie get seen for the first time in these cards, like the very first Womp Rat, right? So this
Yeah.
to me is that same vein of here's something we're never going to see on screen or haven't seen on screen, but an artist can show you what that might look like.
Yeah, and this is the kind of fill in the gaps I like, and not I don't want to have to read an entire novel to understand the context of a scene from a movie, right? But I'll love to open a pack of cards and see, and see this one snapshot that sort of fills in gaps or helps expand your view of the galaxy, right? And this I think does a great job. Now the next card, kind of the opposite. One of our favorite topics to talk about when it comes to '90s Star Wars cards, which is Twi'lek Butt.
Yes.
So so yeah, so this card, right, 1993 Star Wars Galaxy Series 1. Um, it was the swinging '90s, baby, right? It was this world where they just told artists, you know what, have at it. And this artist decided to draw Jabba the Hutt, Salacious B. Crumb, and his enslaved Twi'lek kneeling before him, in a thong. And someone
He's
had it.
got the chain in his fist. He's got his hookah. I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah, and there was a meeting at Tops, and they sat around at all the different pieces of artwork, and they looked at this one and goes, "Yep, yeah, we're gonna have kids opening these cards, right?"
This is
And
this
it's
is definitely okay to include.
yeah, no, it's fine. No, I say it in jest. I mean, it's obviously like they went for the grittier side of Star Wars, so that darker side of Star Wars, and you see this Jabba the Hutt's palace, and I think they did a good job in Return of the Jedi, kind of making you understand how villainous this place was, and having his slaves and having these dancers and just dropping people into the Rancor pit, on a whim. It did a good job, but I just find it always interesting because like 24 Chrome Galaxies coming out in a little bit. I doubt they chose this card to
To me,
put.
it's like that sort of gritty New York of the 70s and 80s, right?
Yeah,
It's before, Giuliani came in and cleaned everything up.
yeah, yeah,
And right? And so
yeah,
it's just this was just okay. This is just the way that it was, and
yeah,
nobody questioned that.
yeah,
Whereas now you get the shinier, cleaned up version of
yeah.
something. So
Exactly, exactly. You're not going to see any gold bikinis in any modern sets. It's just not happening, right? Which brings us to our last card, which probably one of my favorite cards because of the absurdity that it exists. Okay, I could give you people out there a 10,000 guesses as to what's on this card, and you would not guess it. And here it comes. You ready? Ray, you ready?
I'm ready.
Here it is. It's a plate.
Plate.
It's a plate. That's all it is. It's a Star Wars plate. It is a
But
picture
here's why
of
I
a
love
plate.
this. So this whole section of the checklist was artwork that appeared elsewhere, right? Promotional materials, whatever. And you have to think that back then there was just fewer to draw from. So they'd run out of everything else and they're like, well, we'll just throw in this plate.
They could have included just the artwork of said plate instead of taking a picture
The
of
plate
the plate.
itself. I mean, I
Wow.
guess it would be sort of like finding like the Pizza Hut box in a later series of
Yeah, right. Or the Mountain Dew can with Jar Jar on it, right? Here's a picture of a
yeah.
Mountain Dew can with Jar Jar Binks. Good job. You just paid $15 for this pack of 4 cards. Here's your Mountain Dew can Jar
You
Jar,
get your
right?
Mountain Dew.
And like, but again, it's just like they sat around a table. The people made the set and go, and there's a guy in the back goes, "What about that picture of the plate we have? What do you think? Think we should throw that in the picture of the plate?" And people are saying, "I don't know. It's just kind of a plate." The guy's like, "Oh no, you got to trust me on this one. We're gonna
Kind
put
of
this plate in. It's gonna be really hot. People are gonna really like it. People are gonna really like it. It's just it's insane that this card exists when there's this set. I love this set. Early Galaxy has a special place in my heart. This card is just so
So
absurd.
how far in the outer rim is this plate card? Is it just
This
the
this
very
might
furthest
be
reaches?
this might be the furthest from Coruscant
Mhm.
of any card we will look at in
I think
any
that's
Star
right.
Wars set, just because it is simply a picture of a plate. And that's it. That's it. It's just a plate. Come on, people. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. All right. Well, Ray, what do you think? Cantina conversation time?
Let's do it. Raise a
Let's
glass.
do it. All right. Let's raise a glass.
Cheers.
Ding. There we go. So, cantina conversations, right? This is the type of conversation you have out of the cantina with some of your buddies, alien or otherwise. Just these open-ended conversations that would just drum up after a few drinks. And today's topic: the lack of prequel content in the 80s and 90s. And so I will take ownership over this. I came up with this topic because this is one thing you notice from the 90s Galaxy cards to the toys to the novels to the comic books to the video games. It all takes place post Return of the Jedi. You almost never see any prequel content anywhere up until the prequels actually came out. And Ray, I'm just curious as to hear why you think that is. Like
I
why were people not
so
eager to explore the
I
past?
have thought about this a lot since you posed this question. And I actually, first of all, I think it's just sort of human nature, right? We want to know what happens next because generally in life, we already know what happens before, right? And if you look at anything like history, whatever, we already know what happened. We want to know what happens next. So we're presented with this Star Wars galaxy. You're not necessarily thinking, oh, I want to know what led up to all that. You're thinking, okay, so now tell me where we're going from here. So I think there's that component to it. And then I think there's also just, as Star Wars fans, you're sort of presented with things that are a given. Okay, Darth Vader is in a suit, he has a mask, he has a really funny way of breathing. That's just a given. And you're
Mm,
not necessarily thinking to yourself, why is that the case? Why is his body in this crazy suit made up of mechanical ventilation systems? I remember the first time that my son told me, he was reading a Star Wars encyclopedia and telling me why Vader had been burned on Mustafar and had to be in this suit. I thought he was making it up because it's just like, okay, this is just a fact. Vader's just in a suit. So to me, it's just kind of that human nature of I want to know where we're going next. I don't need to necessarily know what happened. Now we know better than that. Now we know that there's this whole fascinating story behind it, but that's not the way that people's minds were going in the 80s and 90s as they were guessing where we were going to head.
Yeah. No, I tend to agree, right? I tend to agree. It's okay, the Emperor's dead, the second Death Star is destroyed, Vader's dead. Where does it go from here? Right? Where does it go from here? I was also very fascinated with the New Republic, the Timothy Zahn. I remember reading Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, Last Command when I was, 10, 11 years old and not understanding half of it, but it's still enjoying it. And yeah, so I tend to agree with that. I just, you know, for me personally, I was like, well, why was Luke orphaned? Like, who was Luke? The big thing for me was like, who was Luke's mother? Who was Luke and Leia's mom? Right? I really wanted the whole Padme character to be not explained, but I wanted to find out, like, where did that come from? How did that come to be? How did they get orphaned? And how did they end up separate? Yeah, you kind of guessed like, ooh, hidden from Vader, right? That was kind of out there. They were
Implied.
hidden from
Mhm.
from Vader, but why? And when were they infants, babies? Who knows? Um, but tinfoil hat on. I don't have a real one, but tinfoil hat is. I feel like it was George Lucas who put the kibosh, if you will, on any and all prequel material because by the late 80s, he was most likely writing the prequels.
He knew that's where he was going.
And he knew where that was going, or maybe not writing the scripts per se, because I think it was a little later than that, but at least he wanted a clean slate to work with. And if all of this prequel content had come out in the 80s and 90s, and he got it wrong, and he did something different, completely different, maybe he felt he was going to lose the fan base. Maybe if like Timothy Zahn wrote a prequel trilogy instead of the sequel trilogy, and it was beloved by all, would George Lucas have felt trapped in having to make those into films?
Well, it's funny you say that because it got me thinking, what if they had done the sequels, right, in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then not gone back and done the prequels until 2015? How different would that look? Because
Yeah,
then it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where you're giving into all these fan theories that have shown up, or things that are already circulating. So the whole story could have looked really different if they had gone in that direction.
I think it'd been way better. And the sequels would have been way better, right?
Possibly.
But also,
You're selling me a little bit on some of your theories there,
well,
but no, I think it just speaks to that idea of, well, I think it was cathartic in some ways for people too to see baby Anakin, little Anakin, because he was, even though he's a bad guy, he's so beloved a figure, if that makes sense. Like
yeah,
people love Vader. But to also see, "Oh, hey, look, this awful bad guy was once a good guy," I think was very cathartic for everybody, but I also don't think people were filling in that gap for themselves until the prequels made them realize that they needed it, if that makes sense.
yeah. No, I agree. I feel like just harking on the prequels for a second, and that whole Anakin being a good guy. I don't think they gave him enough runway to demonstrate his true good light side,
Good guyness.
his good guyness, right? Eh, I think it was very. I remember thinking because I mean, and maybe this is because you know where it's going, right? But that time jump from Phantom Menace to Attack of the Clones, where it's like, oh yeah, they're best friends. Oh yeah, these guys. Oh yeah, they're best friends. You know what I mean? You're like Obi-Wan and Anakin, like yeah, they're best
Mhm.
friends. Oh, they just had 10 years of adventures together, like ten
Right. Well, and
years.
then Clone Wars
10 years.
like you say, filled in
Well,
so many of those gaps
well,
with the
that's
Clone Wars. So now we have years of Anakin on the light side. But again, I think that people's brains weren't initially going there in the 80s and 90s because we're just given the fact of him as a bad guy. And it was more, what's he going to do next? And less, more, what's his origin story?
Yeah, and I think people were enamored with Luke and Leia and Han and Chewie and wanted to see where they were headed next, right? I
Their
think that
adventure.
was the big one. Um, and but it's but yet Vader has like held like Vader has always been, like you said, he's the most beloved bad guy in maybe all
I
of fiction,
can't,
right?
right. I mean, it's crazy to me how just iconic he is.
Yeah.
He's a horrible villain, but people love him. And I think, sort of every villain that has followed has to follow in those footsteps.
Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah, I just think, in the 80s, 90s, the prequel content, I think they shied away from it also because maybe they knew what Lucas, or not knew, or they assumed Lucas already had that done, right? He had that, maybe they thought, oh, Lucas is, he invented this world. He dropped us in, right? At New Hope, Tatooine. This is where he dropped us in. He has to already know that it's already established. It already happened. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I just have a hard time believing when you say he put the kibosh on it, all that. How? There's too many people out there
No,
thinking of too many. Yes, there was no internet and like immediate gratification, but people were probably putting, like, if they had wanted to, they could have put out fan fiction, fan art, all these things, and they
yeah, but
just didn't. And again,
where are they posting it?
they're not posting it, but somehow it would have been out there. Again, I think it's more just that human nature of we sort of just assume we know the past. We want to know what happens next.
Yeah, no, I agree. But again, I think in terms of licensed material, licensed stuff, I think it was Lucas, right? I think he just said, nope, it has to be after Return of the Jedi because I'm not going to touch that for 20 years or whatever, at the time. I'm not going to touch it. I'm doing the prequels first. I think
I buy that.
puts
Let's
the word
call him
out.
up and ask him. No,
Yeah, hold on. I got his email here.
you've got him on speed dial, right?
Yeah, there you go. No, that's great. No, all right, yeah, but Ray, we'll never know, will we? Unless you know, we again talk to Lucas himself, or build a time machine, or just become omniscient. So, um, but yeah, but with that, Ray, what do you say? A little cheers it up, cantina conversation. Good
Cheers.
talk as always. Hmm. And so yeah, and so now we get to come to a segment that is going to be a lot of fun for us. Maybe not so much for you because you don't get to do anything, but we are going to do a nice little pack battle. All
Did
right,
your pack
Ray.
come with lasers? My pack didn't
So,
come with lasers.
all right, Ray. Would you like to do the honors? Would you like to open first?
Are we going? Are we taking turns? Or are we going at the same
All right.
time
How
here?
about this? Let's open the pack. Let's go
Okay.
card
Just
by
hold it
card.
just one card at a time.
Yep. All right. All right. So my first
Oh,
card up here, Rancor uh,
I
concept
think
art.
I've
Oh,
got
look what
you
you
beat
pulled.
because I think this is our mascot
That is
card
our
night.
mascot. It is the classic
So there is our classic
Carbonite
con and card
slab. All
night.
right, that's a good pull. All right, here we go. This is a comic book, I believe. This is Vader, Luke, and Leia all
I think
together.
I've got you beat again because
Oh
this is
yeah,
a beautiful cutaway of
yes.
Vader's helmet.
All right,
Uh,
fine. Two nothing you. All right,
and I'm
two
about
nothing
to
you.
3-0 you. Yeah,
Oh
you
no.
can't beat that.
Oh jeez. Hey, careful with that card. We get something great. All right, fine. But look, this is a nice card too. But the Ted
Nice card,
Buthacant.
but this is a hot card,
That's the
so
Ted Buthacant, right?
yeah.
Get your grubby mitts off it and put it to the
Don't
side.
worry, I only touched the edges, and I
Cool.
think I'm gonna beat you again.
No, I'm gonna beat you again because here's why. Oh, what's that? More concept art. Oh, you get this
Existential
droid
crisis
birthday.
droid birthday. Alright, so I think I'm
Rigged.
4
This
and
is
0,
rigged.
but
This is rigged.
you're gonna beat this one. This is this
All right.
funny little elf.
That's Yoda concept art right there,
You're
and I
just
got the Yoda. So look, concept, and this is what he becomes.
I mean,
3 comes.
yeah.
All right. You're winning so far. All right. Oh, I got a good one. I got a good one. How about the little Max Rebo band?
Got a little Spanish Guerra de Stella. I think I
Oh,
might
there
give
you
you the
go.
Max Rebo ban on that one.
All right. So what is it? 3-2 you, I think?
4-2,
4 to
please.
2. Ooh, this is a classic. This came
Love
out.
this one. Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna win that one. This is from the beginning of the checklist where they just had sort of straight portraits of main
Yep.
characters. So it's a
And
great
this
Chewy,
is a
but
classic. They
I'm gonna
put
give
this
you that
back
one.
into one of the Chrome Galaxy sets
All
right
right,
there.
so we're
Beautiful
four to
card.
three. Ho ho.
Oh, yeah. I think you're gonna take it. You're gonna take it.
Thank
All
you.
right. Pack battle
We have
goes
one more
right.
battle to go.
Yeah.
So I've won the battle, but I have not yet won the war.
All right. Got another pack
Who will
here.
win the next Star War?
We're gonna do 2. 1993 Galaxy Series 1. Come on, foil. Come on, foil. All right. Ooh, okay. How about a little Luke concept art?
All right, fun one to start. We got some crazy Ewoks.
Ooh, what do you think? Look at that deep V Luke has. Look at that deep V.
It's a deep
Got a pretty
V,
deep V.
but crazy Ewoks are always so fun. I'm gonna go
All
crazy.
right. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
All right.
I'll give you that
Oh,
one.
hey, I got our Christmas
Oh,
card.
oh, and I got these silly droids playing music, but the Christmas
That's
card always wins.
2-0.
The Christmas card
Oh,
always wins. Oh, here's a good.
can
This
you
is a nice.
call
I got
this
a nice
one
Luke.
the Cartman?
Yeah,
Cartman
the
Jabba.
Cartman from South Park. But the Luke on Tatooine. This is
I'll give you Luke.
there you go.
Twin
So what is
son.
it? 2-1?
Yep.
2-1? All right. Here we go. What do I got? Ooh, I think I'm gonna take this Womp Rat rookie
Oh,
card.
you're gonna take that. I love the Womp Rat card. First appearance ever anywhere of a Womp Rat, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
right. All right. So is it
Tied. We're
3-3?
two
I
and
lost
two.
count. 2-2.
Two,
Oh,
two, two, two. This is a Ralph McQuarrie, which is kind of hard to beat. For those of you who don't know, but you've got Twilight Butt.
Twilight
That
Butt.
mean.
Yes, let's go. Twilight Butt
Oh, what
always
would Ralph
wins.
say?
It
Oh,
always wins.
this is interesting. This is the checklist, but ladies and gentlemen, it's just the checklist, unlike later eras where you had an image on one side.
So I think this 3PO's got to take it by default now.
I think you've got to.
All right. What's the score? I've lost track.
I have two.
I have 2 and I have more.
I, I
All right.
think I think you're up 3-2.
There's 8 cards in the
Um,
pack, right? So
portrait
4-2.
portrait of
Oh, the
Lando.
Lando, the smooth as silk. I love that Lando portrait. But this card's nice too, because you don't see Moff Tarkin that much with like the whole
No, but
sort of
you also don't
Imperial.
see wistful Lando very often.
Yeah, true. All right. You got that one. 4-3. Ooh, it might be a tie. I just have Ithorian drinking a soda.
I think
Oh,
I'm gonna take it.
you're gonna, yeah. All right. But this, he's drinking a soda. He's got a little soda, a little
I mean,
sip. He's taking a
the
sip.
soda's pretty cool. If you
Taking a little
want, I'll
sip.
call it a tie, but
No,
otherwise I win.
you can take that one.
Thanks.
Ray. That was a great battle.
Um, we love ripping cards. We have what do we say? Sort of average luck ripping cards, and
No, we're like
those
a
are some fun
C
packs.
plus C plus B minus luck.
Excellent.
Like we'll hit something big every blue moon, but that was some pretty good cards though. But yeah, the 93 Galaxy, check out eBay if you're interested. They are awesome set. Boxes are still fairly cheap. And there's just some really cool artwork to explore. 140 card base set. So a lot
Yep,
of different cards.
and what we like to call sort of the wild west of artwork, because again, there was just regulations were different, and you can find some really fun stuff in there that they just don't make anymore.
Exactly. All right, Ray. Good battle, good pack battle. But now we're gonna move on to our final segment of the evening, which we have affectionately dubbed "Quicker Than Greedo." And you might wonder what the heck does "Quicker Than Greedo" mean?
Quitter first.
We are going to draw. We got our markers and we got our whole thing. And so what Ray and I are going to do is we each have 3 characters. We're going to pick one. We're going to draw it, and we're going to see if the other one can recognize the character. Full
And I just want to set
disclosure.
the stage for our viewers. We both draw stick figures. This is
Yeah,
not
we are. We
fair, ladies
are.
and gentlemen.
Remember how we were like our luck for Poland is like B minus. I would get an D minus F for art. I'm not very good. So Ray, very quickly draw
Are we
your
just
first
gonna
character. I'll do the same.
all right. Okay. This
All
is
right,
nice.
let's see. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm very, very poor at drawing. Oh God. Oh no. This is so bad. All right, are you
Sorry
ready?
to hold her up for you, but
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
All right, here we go. Oh my God. Oh no, no, that's is that oh my God, with the cheeks and the thing. Oh, dual lightsabers. Is that Asajj?
Yes, it's
Yes,
not
yes, Asajj. All right, so
one more time, ladies and gentlemen. There she is.
as Asajj Ventress. All right, here's mine.
Luke?
No, it's not Luke Skywalker. Shoot.
Where's his body?
Oh,
You
I
just
didn't. Oh, I was
go
supposed to draw the
face?
body. I don't know how to draw
Yeah.
bodies.
Um, is it Han Solo?
Nope. And one more guess.
Oh gosh. He's definitely human. I'm gonna go with
Oh wait, hold on. Let me add something to help you.
add a body. I need because
Nope.
right now
I'll add
it's sort of
something.
like jack-o'-lantern. Did you have eyelash?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with young Anakin, baby Anakin.
No, no. It's Mon Mothma,
What?
right? She got the bangs in the front. No, am I missing?
I needed a body. I needed a body. All
Oh,
right.
okay. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's do another one.
All right.
Let's do another one.
Ready?
All right. Yeah. You really need a body? I can't. It's a
It
human. I'm
depends if
just gonna
it's
tell you.
human or
I'm just
alien.
gonna tell you it's a human.
All right. I'm gonna tell you mine is an alien and it's gonna be really obvious.
Oh, that nose is way off. Oh my God. All right. No, I can get the better hair here. All right. All right. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
I'll go first this time. I'll go first
Okay.
this time. All right. What?
It
What?
looks the exact same as your last one.
Okay, maybe. Maybe. Hey, hold on. Hold on. All
Um,
right, I'll add, hold on. All right, I'll add something. The oh God, I don't even know what it looks like. No, that's terrible. Let's
there's
say
no eraser. We're using Sharpie. This is
let's see.
dangerous.
Let's see.
Okay, it's now I'm even more confused.
Shit.
It's somebody wearing a turban.
No, not a
Um,
turban. It's not a turban.
it's Leia with her hair really messed up on
No,
top.
no, no.
It's a pilot. It's
Yes,
Wedge.
yes,
It's
yes, it's
Wedge.
Wedge Antilles.
It's
Yes, Wedge
Wedge.
Antilles. Yes,
Yes.
it's
All right.
Wedge. Yay.
I went
Very
sort
good.
of obvious only because I know my own limits.
Oh, Max Rebo. Yeah,
Yay!
okay. That's come
All
on, give
right.
me something tougher.
All right, I'm gonna give you something harder.
All right. All right. Ready for the next one? The
Uh,
oh, now I gotta think.
yes, I'm gonna go U style,
Okay.
meaning face.
Let's see. Oh God. I don't remember what this thing looks like. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Who's going for you going
All right.
first?
I made it really hard.
All right. Let's see. Oh, Han Solo.
Oh, but see, there
Because
you go. Maybe I'm
it's the
not.
vest. The vest. The vest gave it
It
away.
was the
See, you're a
best.
better drawer. All
See,
right.
I gave you a body to deal with.
There you go. All right. What's this?
It's Luke being shocked by Palpatine.
No. Oh, good guess, but no. It's
Oh,
not a human this time.
oh, something with really sharp teeth. The
Hmm.
the
Yes.
wampa. Yes.
Yes. The wampa in the lair scaring it. Look at this. See, guys, we are master
I
artists.
mean,
Okay.
amazing.
Master.
I'm giving us a B minus in art for the day.
No, I just ruined my lighting with the with the holding it up so close. All right. Adjust again. Okay, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. But that's okay because Ray, that brings us to the end of the show. Um Note to self, let's not hold white note cards up to the camera so it doesn't darken your
So it
camera.
doesn't
Oh, there we
offset
go.
your
Oh,
white
it
balance.
just
You're
it just
back.
reset. There we go. There I'm back. And I'm back. But thanks. Hey, I want to appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. This was a lot of fun. Ray, we tied. Pack battle was a tie. Well, you won the first one. It was a tie. I'm gonna get you next time. Promise you. Promise you
I
that.
know. How can you
But
promise? May the slabs be with you and all that.
yes, yeah, and we'll see you next time, everybody.